Maya and Maya, once again, you're most welcome to yet another episode. Today, we are dissecting something that is very critical and is worth discussing. We'll be looking on to understanding dreadlocks and biases, the cultural, economic, and the human right dimension of dreadlocks. As you all know, earlier this week there had been a high crackdown on people with the dreadlocks in Juba. Many youth were arrested just because of having some dreadlocks. And this raised a lot of concerns. If you follow the media publications, musicians and artists were able to raise that concern in most of the media houses, and some took to their social media platforms, sharing different conversations. I had to go down to have a research mainly on the origin of dreadlocks. So today we have some critical 6 questions that can help us understand dreadlocks better. The first question is, what is the origin of dreadlocks? Dreadlocks have long and diverse history with roots in various cultures around the world, and we found that one of the earliest known depiction of individuals with locked hair comes from ancient Egypt. Mummies dated back around 3000 BC, that's before Christ. In Hinduism, dreadlocks are associated with the deity of Shiva. Shiva sadhus, or holy men, often wear their hair in matted lock known as jata. In the 20th century, the Rastafarian movement, which emerged in Jamaica, are popularized by wearing of dreadlocks. Rastafarians, inspired by biblical references, believe that growing their hair into dreadlocks is a way to honor their African heritage and express their spiritual beliefs. Dreadlocks often associated with reggae music, and this is seen by iconic figures like Bob Marley, Lucky Dube in Africa, Alpha Blondy, and some prominent, even our own prominent artists, you see them putting that. The counterculture movement in the 1960s and 1970s embraced wearing dreadlocks as a symbol of non-conformity and rejection of mainstream ideas. This takes us to the second question. Is dreadlock a culture or a religion? Here are a few examples that I want us to put attention to. 1. The Rastafari movement. In the Rastafari movement, which emerged in Jamaica in the 20th century, wearing dreadlocks is often a religious and a cultural expression. Rastafarians believe that growing their hair into dreadlocks is a way to honor their African heritage and follow certain biblical teachings. In Hinduism, the wearing of matted lock, known as jata, is a religious practice associated with devotion to the god of Shiva. Counterculture movement. So, all these expressions answers the question whether dreadlock is a culture or a religion. The third question we should ask is, what is the significance of dreadlocks to popular culture? In popular culture, as it's being practiced by artists, people in different industries, you find that young people are likely to be attracted to that. Here are some aspects of significance of dreadlocks in popular culture. Counterculture and rebellious mindset. In the 20th century, particularly during the 1960s and the 1970s, dreadlocks became associated with counterculture movements. Or people who wear dreadlocks reject mainstream or societal norms. We find that a given set of people choose to be unconventional. They are people who want to be free. They want to live their life the way they feel. So they take that. Reggae and Rastafari influence. The global popularity of reggae music, particularly through iconic figures like Bob Marley, I mentioned Lucky Dube, and many others, played a crucial role in popularizing dreadlocks. Fashion and lifestyle. Dreadlocks are often seen as a distinctive or visually striking hairstyle. And you can see this mainly associated with popular stars in sports, in music. Dreadlocks are a symbol of fashion and style, individual expression and identity. I think everyone has a right to self-expression. So some people feel they have to choose how they want to dress, how they have to make their hair. So all these are aspects that connects dreadlocks to popular culture. Are dreadlocks associated with crime? That's the fifth question we need to ask. In my opinion, I can say no. Dreadlocks themselves are not associated with crime. With this, we should be able to differentiate between dreadlocks as a hairstyle and the behavior of the person who wears dreadlocks. Behavior and the hairstyle, these are two different things. Unfortunately, sometimes we find that stereotypes and misconceptions contribute to unfair discrimination. Of course, we have known in our context in South Sudan, Rastafarians sometimes are called the niggers and all some of these questions. But in my view, I think we should be able to split between the hairstyle and the behavior of the person bearing the hairstyle. You'd find that there's some good men of God, preachers or very good loyal citizens with dreadlocks, but they are not associated to crime. Personally, I met some people with dreadlocks. These are some of the most peaceful people I know. There could be also others who are doing that. That's why the hairstyle and the behavior of the person bearing the hairstyle, these are two critical things that we should be able to explore when it brings us to the question of dreadlocks. Another question could be, is having dreadlocks a human right? I think that's a critical question that we should also ask. If I wear dreadlocks, do I have a human right? Human right, as outlined in various international instruments, typically include the right to freedom of expression, freedom of religion or belief, and the right to enjoy one's own culture. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, for example, affirms the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, which encompasses the freedom to manifest one's belief in practice, including through personal appearances, cultural expression. Similarly, the International Convention on Civil and Political Rights protects the right to freedom of expression. While these rights provide general framework, it's also important to note that the application of some of these rights varies from one country to another and varies from one legal system to another. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights affirms the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, which encompasses the freedom to manifest all beliefs in practice, including through personal appearance and cultural expressions. I think these are critical things that we also have to look onto when we ask the question of, is wearing dreadlocks a human right? This takes us also to the final question, which we felt is also very critical to ask. What is the economic significance of dreadlocks? Does dreadlock have economic significance? I think the economic significance of dreadlock is multifaceted and can be observed in various industries and sectors. Let's look on to salon and hair stylist service. This contributes to income to professionals in the beauty and hairstyle industries. The care and maintenance of dreadlocks requires specific hair care products such as shampoo, conditioner, styling products, design for locks or matted hair. The demand for those specialized products can create economic opportunities for manufacturers and retailers within the beauty and the personal care industry. Cultural and tourism industries attend events and purchase related cultural products. So when we talk about dreadlocks, yes, we also need to explore about the economic significance of what it creates. Dreadlocks are often featured in various forms of media, including film, television, and music. Celebrities and public figures who wear dreadlocks may influence fashion trends and contribute to economic impact associated with the hairstyle. And spectators. Above all, the tourism industry. Let's take it in our context of South Sudan. Let's assume that our tourism industry is well established like some countries. I think the measures taken, as reported on the media platform, could significantly affect our tourism industry. As a disclaimer, this is not really to rub the fact that also we have criminals or people who act on things that are not of public good sometimes wear this. But in a broader perspective, we should be able to open conversations and have deeper discussions to understand what this entails and what do we do to put this in order. Also, finally, let's try to look this in the economic perspective. Let's assume that there's a legislation to license dreadlocks. We charge $100 for license so that you are licensed to have dreadlocks. And taking into account that we have about 10,000 licensed dreadlock individuals in South Sudan, that's a revenue of about $1 million to the regulatory body. These resources can be earmarked to matters of importance. Of course, if there are regulatory efforts, definitely there are procedures that has to be followed. In social media, you've seen that some months ago we've been debate about verified accounts and non-verified accounts. Can we start verifying these dreadlocks? So how do we verify people in the industry who want dreadlocks versus those ones also who just use it for maybe malicious reasons? Can we license that? I don't know. This is a question that we should ask. And if we license dreadlocks, do you think it can generate resources that could have been earmarked and used for some most important purposes? So thank you so much. Every Sunday we drop an episode that answers some critical conversations that happen, and this helps us to have a critical thinking. Amen. Maya and Maya Reloaded. This is Checkmate.